of the Land for Life program today. So I will invite now three very interesting speakers from Practical Action Sudan who landed 2 days ago here in India. And so one of them you already know. And the two others I will invite to the stage now. So Ms. Muna El Tahir, Ms. Siam Osman, and Mr. Awadallah Ahmed, who will come later. Do you want me to start the video now, or no? So if again then, so you can either take this or just like you.
Yeah, sure, I'll take. Welcome everybody, and thank you so much for being here today. It's a great pleasure indeed for Practical Action to be here and to participate in such a great event. Practical Action is an international organization. Our head office in UK, and we are working in Nepal, India, and we are working in Africa, South America, and as I mentioned, our head office in UK. Wadi al-Quwa project is a Land for Life award. That was phase 1 and created great impact in the area, in the targeted area. And as a result of the great success attained by the project, the European Union provided additional fund for implementing phase 2 of the project. The first phase was financed by the EU in strategic partnership with United Nations Environment Programme. The fund was 3.5 million euro. The second phase, the European Union provided 3 million euro, 11 million euro for supporting the second phase. And the European ambassador on the Europe Day, he mentioned this is one of the best projects ever financed by the European Union in Sudan because of its impact indeed. And furthermore, the United Nations Environment Project extended its partnership and implemented the same project in Nepal with Practical Action Nepal office. This is great scaling up, great inspiration, and great success we are all proud of. Today, my colleague Siham and Awadallah, they are going to talk about phase 2. What are the changes, how is it different, and what are we going to do, and what are we going to attain by the end of the project. I'll have a short movie of a half a minute. It speaks about the brand of Practical Action globally, and then we'll take over the Wadi al-Quwa in specific. Thank you very much.
Uh, Good afternoon. Uh, the title of this project is Wadi al-Ku'a Catchment Management Project. And Wadi al-Ku'a is the area where the project has been implemented. And it is a seasonal river, internal river, inlet river, running across Darfur, started from the west up to North Darfur, and ended near Al-Fashir, the capital of North Darfur. And as North Darfur is one of the states of Sudan. Sudan has like 18 states. We have 4 states in the west, what we call Greater Darfur, and North Darfur is one of these states. Sudan, in terms of area, is the 3rd largest country in Africa, used to be the biggest, but after the separation of South Sudan, now we are the 3rd largest country with local area of 1.9 million kilometers and estimated population of 40 million. The agriculture is the backbone of the economic in Sudan, and most of the people are practicing agriculture in its broad sense, yani livestock and crop production. And also pastoralists, agro-pastoralists, and the urbanites. Okay, if we have to talk about the problems that facing Sudan, as you see, a very complex situation in Sudan: poverty, climate change impact, conflict, and culture. And the cultural issues is mainly for the women, because in some part of Sudan, women are not economically active. And also we have some issues related to land tenure with regard to women and some other part of the communities. Around 46.5% of population are poor, who are around 18.6 million. And this attributed mainly to inefficient development plan and strategy, and reduced public expenditure on basic services, and also the issue of climate change, erosion of land and natural resources. If we look to the diagram, we can see this is the poverty in Sudan. The Darfur region here at the bottom comprised like 27% of the poverty, or people live in poverty, are in this region. And North Darfur comprise 8%. If you can see that we have 18 states, 73% of the total population in the rest of Sudan. North Darfur has 8% of the total population who live in poverty. The Darfur region experienced so many problems related to periodic drought, increasing rainfall variability, conflict, and rapid population growth. mainly the effect of the climate change is, I mean the drought is a result of climate change and hence the rainfall variability. A conflict in Darfur is mainly a natural resource-based conflict between farmer and pastoralist. And the climate change is one of the reasons. For example, people used to farm millet in North Darfur in the sandy soil, and as a result of the drop down of rainfall, now this area is completely eroded. And then the farmer start to farm in the clay soil, growing sorghum, and this is used to be in the migratory route of the pastoralist, which create a lot of conflict between farmer and pastoralist. So basically, the conflict in Darfur is a natural resource-based conflict. And also the rapid population growth as a result of the displacement. Sudan has the biggest population displaced, like 3.2 in Africa, like 3.1 million of IDPs all over Sudan. 1.6 of them, 1.6 million are in North Darfur. Also, due to this scarcity of resources and the migration of the people to live around city, for example, the area of Wadi al-Qur, where we're implementing this project, people start, as a result of the conflict and the land degradation, to move and settle around the cities, and hence creating increasing use of land or increasing demand on land and water. And this has resulted in degrading the soil. Increasing the demand for land and water means extensive agricultural production in a small piece of land, and overgrazing and depletion of groundwater, which result in eroded the soil in the area and decrease its fertility. And also, people start to practice some maladaptive activities like cutting of trees and making of charcoal as a means of livelihood, which is also affect the environment, and hence the livelihood of the people is weakened. This is the situation in the area. Wadi al-Qur is a typical example of what is happening as a result of the degradation of natural resource in Sudan. And our intervention could be seen as, let me see, not a good example, like creating a model that, how natural resource management, inclusive and cooperative natural resource management could make sustainable increase in agricultural production and hence creating a resilient livelihood. This model could be replicated and upscaled in other areas in Sudan or even in other countries with similar environment. So my colleague will take you over the intervention that we implemented in combating these problems?
Thank you so much, my colleague Siham. Just I'm going to explain what have been done on the ground to solve the problem related to the environmental and how we can make the ecological restoration. So this is a map of the Wadi Al-Ku project. If we see this map, Wadi Al-Ku is one of the most important water courses in North Darfur. It looks like a green strip in the middle of the semi-desert area. All this area are degraded. So only you have this water course going along 27,000 kilometers. And the Wadi Al-Ku is provide livelihood support for the farmers, for the pastoralists, and also for the IDPs. North Darfur is, as been mentioned, is fragile land. The rainfall is very bad, and there is recurrent drought. The only solution for the North Darfur to access water for cropping is construction of the dam. Construction of the dam means expanding the land of the farming land, and at the same time to help to recharge the groundwater and also for the ecological restoration. This is one of the solutions that we use as an organization in North Darfur State. No any other solution for accessing the water for cropping. And you see the communities. That's why I talked before. I said the community contribution is very essential for the sustaining the activities, for sustaining the projects. So they should contribute by the local materials, by their times, and sometimes even financial contribution. This is very, very necessary because we are, as an organization, we can't do everything. So they should contribute because this is the problem that's selected by them. They have to support it. And also the same, just explaining how the community are participating, following up, monitoring, whatever. So the construction of the dams and to have access water for the cropping is not enough. It's not enough to achieve the well-being. Also, we should have some knowledge dissemination through the farmers' field schools. So we have the farmers' field schools just to give the farmers the extensions and the knowledge, especially the crop diversifications. When we talk about the crop diversifications in North Darfur State, we help the community to access the market, and also to have, if there is less rainfall, they should have another alternative because some projects are adapting to the drought. That's why we're giving extensions and the knowledge for the communities just to have the better life and to achieve the well-being. Here also, because we know that the land is limited and the number of the population is growing up. So the land is not enough for everybody. There is no new land. So for that reason, we are training the community to conserve the land, to make this compost or the organic fertilizers, just to improve the soil features to cultivate. Otherwise, no more lands for the new people. So just we use the same land and improve the features of the land so people can cultivate it. So this is organic fertilizers. We train the community to do this. Community forest. This, we make the community forest as the agroforestry that cultivating the indigenous trees, which is called Acacia Senegal. These trees improving the soil features by the fixation of the nitrogen in the soil. And at the same time, also have the features of the combating the desertifications, also the stop the desert creeping toward the residential area and also toward the farming land. So the community contribution, all the activities are also very important. This is the situation before cultivating the trees, and this is after cultivating the trees. And the women played an important role in making the community forest. And now they are celebrating and happy with their forest when it reached this state. And also, I told that the women organized in the women development associations, this empowers them. They have their own activities. They make the community forest and also the other activities. Of course, the same idea. And also, we are introducing the LPG for the cooking purpose because North Darfur is dry land and there is no trees for the firewood and the charcoal. So we introduced the LPG, liquid petroleum gas, for the cooking purpose. And in the other project, we distributed something like 20,000 set of LPG within North Darfur state. Yes. This picture shows the consensus building between the upstream and downstream. When we are constructing the dam, we have to be careful about the conflict could be happen between the upstream and downstream. That is why we make a lot of effort to bring the consensus between the upstream and downstream, and make sure that technically the dam should serve the upstream and the downstream. That's me, and I think I'm very happy because we made a lot of challenges to reach this stage, because when you are mobilizing the communities and organizing them and build the consensus and mobilize the local resources and bring the government together to have this kind of the activity, it is not easy thing. So that's why I think we did our best to do this for our community. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Siham. Thank you, Adallah. I think my colleague, they presented a very good example of a project with an impact that changed people's life in a sustainable manner. We really appreciate your presence, though it's very late and people would like to go back to the hotel and get some rest. However, the ground now is open for questions, if you would like. And before I start giving you the time to give your questions, I'd like to convey our sincere gratitude for Caroline. She's the one who gave us the opportunity to be here and to present our project for you. Thank you, Caroline. If anybody, yes. Yeah. If anybody has a question, please. Yeah? Okay.
You can raise your hand and I will come to you.
Yeah. Otherwise, we have a film, like 3 minutes film. It's good, so we can present it. It's about Wadi al-Ku' project.
Very much. Thank you very much for the presentation. Yes, so I want to ask something about the dams. Is sedimentation a big problem? Do you envisage that will be a challenge that you'll be able to deal with effectively? Sedimentation,
Yeah, yes. Thank you very much for the question. Yes, of course, we have a local knowledge that makes silt trip, that by cultivating some kind of the grass is called vetiver, that will help to stop the sedimentation. But also in some cases, we need the sedimentation also. In the type of these dams, there is a lot of gullies. We want to restore the degraded land. So first we are doing this so as to make restoration for the degraded land, and at the same time we have the local knowledge that used for the silt trip. But still, the sedimentation, as we said, it is a problem. But also, we are making a lot of demonstrations and testing a lot of ideas to see when, if the sedimentation has become a problem, how we can overcome the problem. Thank you.
So I have a question.
Please go ahead.
So about the community forest, so Awadala, you explained that it's some areas where you plant traditional or indigenous kind of tree, but also like in the organization of the society and of the community. Can you tell us a little bit more about it, how it works and how it's organized?
Repeat the question, please.
Can you give more details about the community forest, but like on the social point of view, how the community is organized? So there are the trees, but is there something special regarding the community, how it's?
Okay. Okay, yes, thank you so much. First, I said first, we organize the communities before we start anything else, because we believe that the human development is essential before giving them any